Thank you for joining us. We just finished our pre-boom. We tried to work out a few kinks in our pre-show with Zion. And Zion is, hi Zion. All right. We also have Agnes and I believe Edna. No, just Agnes today is joining us. And welcome, Chaveevah.
Yes, welcome, Rock. Welcome everyone to Ms. Rocki and Chaveevah's North End Update Live, because you know there is always something good happening on the North End.
And everywhere else in the Cedar Valley. And you know this, Zion.
Yes.
Yes. We had a great show last week. Chaveevah, with quarantine haircuts with Mayor Quentin Hart and Travis Ferguson from Ferguson Team Real Estate.
Yes, Rocky, that was a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, as usual, when we get a chance to get together with the mayor. And we've got some great guests coming on today. Yes.
Yes, we do. We got some great guests coming on today. And why don't you tell us who they are?
Okay, we have Dr. Nafissa Cisse-Egbuonye. She is the director of Black Hawk County Department of Health. And we're also expecting, we're also expecting to hear from Sheriff Tony Thompson.
Exactly, and they're both in our waiting room. And you know what? I believe they're just, since they're there, it's kind of making me nervous, Chaveevah.
Don't get too nervous.
I want to get them. No, I'm not too nervous. I just want to make sure that we don't leave them in there too long in the waiting room. And my hair is on fire, so I got to back up out of the light.
It's 4:02, Rocky.
Okay, huh?
It's 4:02.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So listen, the thing about it is we also want to congratulate, we're going to see our guest in just a few minutes. We want to congratulate Pastor Mashandas Robinson.
Yes. Yes, he was the winner of our All Look Good award for the great things he's doing in our community.
Yes, and we really want to congratulate him. He even posted a picture today on our wall and shared it with us, and he thanked us, Chaveevah. So great guy.
Oh, that's so nice. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Right. He's a great guy doing great things. And we want to tell our birthday people that we're getting ready to sing to you right now. And when we're done singing, Zion is going to because Zion has this great bass voice. So we're going to have him sing happy birthday with us right now and get that out of the way. Yes. Zion, this is our COVID-19 upside down show. We're doing things backward because we got a lot to talk about with our guests. So, Chaveevah, who are our birthday people?
Our birthday people. Happy birthday to Diane Bedore, Tia Ferguson, Charles Young out in San Diego. Happy birthday. Martina Stiles in Phoenix, Arizona. Jason Lovelace, Randolph Bryan, Kevin Butler, and Lelena Rabari.
Yes. Happy birthday. Also to Rochelle Chase, Tara Thomas Getman, Mima Yolo, Deborah Wessels Riley, Soya Amar, Shirley Houghton, Amber Nicole Robinson, and also, I think I had one more, didn't I? I guess
yes,
not.
You did.
Oh, yes, Rodney Lewis. Rodney Lewis, yes, from Rodney's Kitchen. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you, Zion, our senior 2020. We love you. Okay, so we're going to sing happy birthday, and Zion, you go ahead and take the lead. And it goes something like this.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Applause. It's sign language.
That's right.
All right. Well, birthday people, I'm glad. Hope you got glad we got that out of the way. And this whole Zoom thing is a little bit different, and I think we're doing well. Thank you so much, Zion, for joining us. We're going to go ahead and admit our new guest, Zion. And are there any comments so far
Yeah.
before you?
Chiquita Lovelace says, so proud of you two. You're doing a great job. Renee
Oh,
Thompson says,
Yeah.
hello, ladies. Vanessa's Tally Gardner says, hello. Nima Yolo says, thank you. Renita Wright says, good job, Zion.
all right, great. Okay, Zion, we're going to keep you on the screen while we admit our guests, okay? And we'll refer to you in just a little bit. And we're admitting Dr. Nafissa.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hello, doctors.
Hi. Yes.
Hello, and welcome to our show, Ms. Rocki and Chaveevah North End Update Live, because Tony Thompson, you know there's always something good happening on the North End, right?
Boom shakalaka.
Ah!
Okay. All right.
Thank you. We were so excited that you guys would talk to us today. Our show, as you may know, it sounds like you may be a little familiar, is about the good things that happen. And of course, we like to talk about that, but we would be remiss if we did not focus on what's going on and has just set us all back so far. So we wanted to bring you two on to ask you some questions that maybe you haven't been asked so much before. Right, Chaveevah?
That's right, Rocki. We would like to know, we know that you all are right in the forefront of what's going on with this COVID-19 crisis, but we would like to know how are you dealing with it personally?
Well,
Because
Nafissa calls me at about 9:30 at night and yells and screams and says swear words a lot. we discovered that we're related. We're like brother and sister from another mother. So,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Doctor.
no, he's right, and he calls me too. So, I just think the most important thing is checking in. I know when Sheriff Thompson needs a day off or I need a day off. We respect that. We give each other the space to take that time off, and it's also what we preach. In the EOC when we see staff and just fatigue, we have to be able to also check in with ourselves. Mental health and physical health is important as you're dealing with this pandemic. So, yeah.
Yes. And one other question we had is, what kind of challenges are you dealing with at home with those young children? I mean, it has to be a challenge being the superwoman that you are, and of course, Tony, Sheriff Thompson, Superman that you are. It's good that you have each other to lean on, but how's everything at home? How are you handling it with those young children?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's very, it's crazy, it's a new normal for them. The kids, they want to, not only my children, but most of the kids in the community, they want to interact with their friends. They miss their friends. And so I see in our neighborhood, people, practice social distancing. So most of the time when the kids are out, and my kids are out too, just so they can see the kids, But a funny story I can share, my son, Marcel, he said, Mommy, everybody's at home. Why are you always going to work? Why are you always going to work? And I said, well, mommy has to fight COVID-19. Like I have to. And he said, oh, Mommy, you're so silly. You can't fight something you can't see. You can't see COVID. And so, so I had to, re-explain to him what viruses are. And so it's just, kids are just, they're curious. They want to understand. So I appreciate when there was a Sesame Street COVID-19, because they had the opportunity to sit and watch and just learn for their own in their own style of learning. So, but yeah, it's a new normal for all of us.
For us too, yeah, absolutely. I had to send junior deputy badges home one day because Nafissa had to play the bad guy in Cops and Robbers or whatever at the house. So, yeah. No, but you know, this weekend or next weekend, is it? Next weekend is Mother's Day. That's an important, holiday for us, and that's one that we try and celebrate. And social distancing right now is going to be frustrating for us. With both of my boys are old enough that they're both in the military, and one's getting ready to deploy, and so this is a challenging time. And so it frustrates when you recognize that you're not going to be able to enjoy some of the things that you just get used to being able to do. And I'm living vicariously right now through Nafissa and her young kids, because she takes the day and is still able to go and play Cops and Robbers and be able to take them on runs and walks and those kinds of things, chase them around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta be fun. And Zion, I don't know if you've met Zion. He's our 2020 senior this year, and he's been kind of yes, Zion. Have you met Sheriff Thompson before?
No, I have not.
Maybe not. Okay. This is Zion Dale and Dr. Nafissa Zion.
He is our
Zion, do we have any?
Usually reads comments when we have them.
Yes,
I feel bad for people graduating this year. This is a tough year. It's so unfortunate to not be able to enjoy the proms and the pomp and circumstance associated with graduation ceremonies and things. What an unfortunate year. It's something you'll never forget, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's true. I might tell my kids about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, right.
You'll have to wait a long time for kids. I know your mom. You're not having kids anytime soon.
That's after time.
Yeah.
No,
Do you have any comments?
Yes, we do. Yolanda Williams says, Nafissa, thank you for everything you're doing. Please make sure that you're getting some self-care in during this time. Joyce Ann Wilder says, hello, is everyone in safe quarantine? And then Tara Hickey says, thanks again, ladies and Zion. Be safe and God bless. Joyce Ann Wilder says, tell everybody to keep the faith and stay safe. And Yolanda Williams says, Sheriff Thompson, thank you as well for your dedication. We appreciate you so much.
Yes. You guys, you make us look good. You make us all look good. And Chaveevah, you had some questions?
Well, yes, I was going to say every generation seems like it presents some challenge that may even be just unique to that generation. And this, what we're going through now, would certainly qualify. And I've seen both of you dealing with it under a lot of pressure and really doing a great job. So I personally want to thank you for that. Yeah. But also just thinking about the job that you do, what advice in these times would you give to a young person that might be thinking about going into the type of career that you do?
I can start. I think, one of the things for me personally, I always knew that I needed to be in a field that I was passionate about, because it's not money that motivates me, and money can be a motivator for other things. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing for people to have, but me personally, who I am, it's not what gets me going. And so I always wanted to be in a field where I can be of service to people, but I also don't want to be broke, because I do have to, you have to live, right? So So I fell in love with public health because it provided that balance for me. So as exhausted I might be, it's very easy for me to get up and go to work because it's something I'm passionate about. I feel I'm contributing to humanity. It's a field. So my recommendations to the youth out there: pick something you're passionate about. Pick something that, irregardless of whether it's money or not, like it's just something you will do, because that is what will allow you to be successful. It will help you to stay motivated. So.
Yes.
You
And
know,
Sheriff,
I teased Nafissa that she was kind of the quiet wallflower girl before COVID-19, and now she's the cool kid on the block, right? She went from this quiet, nobody really knew who she was, and now she's the rock star
that's right.
after COVID
Superwoman.
kicked off. I think people that would be interested in law enforcement now that COVID has kicked off. This is public safety in a far different perspective, a whole different arena, and certainly there's no money to be made in law enforcement. You too have to have a passion, just like Dr. Nafissa says. You've got to have a passion to do this. You have to have a calling. You have to respect the fact that you're out there, and not everybody appreciates. Nobody gets to deal with law enforcement when they're having a good day. Even if they need and want your help, it's not because they're having a great day, right? You're had a car accident. You're in some sort of distress when you need us, and so it's never you get to deal with people on their best day. You always see them at their worst day, and
Right.
so that is a challenging piece in and of itself. Now you add into it the environment that we're dealing with right now, and here's Dr. Nafissa every single time she's on television telling us we have to socially distance and we have to wear masks and we have to stay at home and we don't get to see our friends and we can't go play at the playground, and it just compounds and it gets worse and it gets worse, and we just feel like we just keep instituting more and more restrictions and more rules on people, and how frustrating. And so public safety now in this new arena that we're marshaling creates such a more challenging environment as a peace officer. And certainly, we're still all about protecting people's rights and protecting people's safety, but we're doing it almost in spite of themselves sometimes, especially now. And that's difficult in and of itself too. So if this is really a career field that you want to get involved in, this is probably the best gut check you could possibly get, because this is maybe some of the most challenging times you're ever going to have. Recognizing that, and it's not because we're out there chasing bad guys around, it's because we're really trying to figure out how to best serve a public that really, really, really wants to exercise their personal freedoms, and we're trying to curtail that in a time where, man, it's beautiful out, and we've been locked up for, well, shoot, in Iowa we've been locked up all winter,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's challenging right now. It's really a tough time to be in law enforcement.
Yes. And like Chaveevah said, we want to thank you guys for fighting that good fight, because, I think your initiative really helped us out a lot by getting Tyson closed and making sure that people are safe and the testing is done. And the reason we asked some of these more personal questions is because, like you said, Sheriff, we see Dr. Nafissa telling everybody to wear your mask, social distancing, and all of the other cliche words that have come up to be popular now. We wanted to kind of get to know you guys a little bit better.
She's the bad cop. I'm the good cop. That's the way we do it.
But we do want to ask. Everyone heard the press conference today, and we heard the numbers. They're going up. And what we want to ask you, what encouraging words do you have for us as we stay confined? What are you telling your families and loved ones? And what can you tell the general public? How do we get through this together? Doctor.
For me, I think, it's, so again, one of the things that attracted me to Black Hawk County, first of all, I have a thing with hawks. I don't know what it is, but it's just, it's the fact that we're such a robust community. We're diverse. We're very tight knit. It's hardly. It's so difficult to meet people that just don't know everybody. Like after the third person, like you just know everybody's connected in some shape or form. And I think that's what makes the community. And so my message has always been, just historically in looking at Black Hawk County is a resilient community. It has we have a university here. We have people that are coming, from MIT. I mean, it's just like you hear all of these amazing people out in the world from Black Hawk County. And so it's just, there's just beauty in our community. And so for me, so that's the most important thing is the fact that this is a great community. This is a resilient community, and we will overcome this pandemic. It's just, I know that it's very difficult because there's no timeline, and Sheriff Thompson, he knows that too, because people are like, when can we go out? When can we do this? When can our restaurant? When can we get back to normal? And we don't have a date for people. So this is very difficult. So I just, my message is to maintain hope, maintain hope, pray. I know, being in government, sometimes we don't talk about that, but pray, maintain hope, and just continue to support each other and have individual ownership that you will contribute into fighting COVID-19. And so when people are being negative and divisive, be the voice of hope. Take that moment to really help someone, because there's a lot of trauma going on with this, and it's important for us to recognize that. And you think about the elderly population and how they've been impacted by this, right? And so so when you have an elderly neighbor, find ways to communicate with them, to check on them, call them, say, hey, I want to FaceTime with you. Just be that person that releases positive energy into the community. And so, but we will get over this. Where everybody's doing our best. I know from the healthcare, public health, pharmaceutical companies, we will overcome this pandemic.
I know when I had our staff briefing at the Emergency Operations Center this morning, I was talking about forecasting 48 hours out, which takes us into the weekend, but we were focusing on Monday's press conference. And I said, listen, we can't have another tearjerker press conference. That's not what we're about. We are the cheerleaders here. We are the, the hope givers here. We can't have these breakdowns. We can't, Dr. Duclos and Nafissa, we can't be crying. And what a downer we had on Monday last week. And so we all had to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and just to encourage everybody to come back on Monday with a positive attitude. And, it's so easy to get worn down. And I think because our numbers were jumping so dramatically, and what do we have, like a 500 number spike over the weekend? And obviously all the health department folks were working all weekend long. And we were just, it was conference call after conference call. We didn't really have a weekend off last weekend. Mm-hmm. And we had a few extra deaths in there, and that kind of tore some people apart. And so last weekend was really frustrating. And then the Monday press conference, Oh, it was just heartbreaking. And so I think our message on this Monday, you will see a difference. You will see us with pom poms and cheerleading outfits. We will come in with vigor and energy renewed, trying to encourage people. I'm horrible about using my military background and military jargon about, we're not asking you to sit in a foxhole. We're asking you to stay at home, sit on your couch, and you don't have to pick up arms and fight with us. You have to help us by staying isolated and continuing the fight. I call it the suck because that's what we in the military called being away from your family for a year deployment. It sucks. It's horrible.
Right.
It's a bad thing. It's no fun. And so when you're in the suck, you hate it, but we recognize that the clock keeps ticking, right? And for every moment that clock ticks, you're that much closer to the end. And I think truly, and I'm looking for Nafissa to nod, I think truly we're probably getting closer, if not almost to that peak right now. We've pretty well run through the Tyson numbers. We've kind of gotten up there, and barring anything dramatic or drastic, we're really paying close attention to our nursing homes and where we're kind of fighting that battle on the front lines right now. But barring anything critical, I think we may be standing on that pinnacle pretty close here, and we should be able to start seeing a plateau to where we can kind of at least take a breather. God forbid anybody else contract this disease. We hate the virus is victimizing anyone. And we know we're going to continue to lose people. And that just hurts our hearts. But what we've been through and this severe surge that we've experienced, I think we've experienced the worst that it has to offer. And I pray to God and I knock on wood. One of my favorite biblical passages is out of Hebrews, and it says, "Let us run with endurance the race God's laid before us." And every time Sharon Duclos, Dr. Duclos speaks, she talks about this marathon. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And I think about that Bible verse and let us run with endurance. This is a marathon, and we are running, but we've got to keep that endurance up. So Monday we've got to have our pom poms out and whatever. I do expect Nafissa to come in with her cheerleading outfit on for Monday's press conference.
Yeah.
So we're ready to go and continue to champion people and recognize that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and we have been sprinting a marathon so far. Now we need to get back into our pace and recognize that we're in this for the long haul.
Right.
Speaking of that pace, how are things looking as far as testing?
Mm-hmm.
Is there free COVID testing anywhere, and who should get it if there is?
Mm-hmm. So most of the testing is going through the Stay Hygienic Lab. Right now, as you are aware, there's most of the testing through Tyson was done by their occupational health provider. So they were not charged a fee for testing. And then the testing for local health providers, they go through the Iowa Department of Public Health testing criteria. And so those, when you meet the criteria, it goes through the Stay Hygienic Lab, and then there's not a fee for the patient. At this moment, we're sitting well in terms of test kits. We have, one of the things that for us in public health, we always want to ensure is that our local health systems and our people's community clinic have enough test kits so that they can ensure testing for vulnerable populations. And then the Iowa test also is up and running. So we have not heard any complaints about test kits at the moment.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we just took delivery of another 1,500 and split those out, 500, 500, 500. So we just plussed up everybody for test kits over the weekend, for the weekend rather. And so we should be good to go for the next 48 to 72 hours.
All right. And Zion, are there any comments? And while you're looking, I want to ask Sheriff Thompson, how is the population and your staff at the jail at the
Yeah, that's I'm so nervous about the jail. The jail makes me critically nervous because that's a population that's captive. They don't get a chance to, you can't socially isolate. You can't hide. You can't disappear. You can't go home. So they're there, and I'm responsible for taking care of them. We just passed out masks to every inmate. So they've got 2 masks. We wash one while the other one they wear. So they've got the opportunity to always be masked. We had a nurse on 3rd shift that was working part-time out at Harmony House, just picking up extra hours. And of course, Harmony House right now is in outbreak status. Yeah. So she tested positive. That makes me extremely nervous because I knew we had such great protocols and such great procedures in place for if an inmate came in, an arrestee came in, we knew we could prevent an inmate from spreading it up into our jail population. But if a staff member brings it in, they have to interact with our total population. And so there's not a lot I could do to protect the population from the staff. And so the first 2 places where I have problems is in the medical department that I don't manage, and the food service department that I don't manage. And the food service worker was a roommate of a Tyson employee. So both those places, were completely out of our control. But thankfully, the medical staff worker, the nurse, worked 3rd shift, and she worked over the weekend. We have a low census right now, and there was not a lot of movement. There was not a lot of interaction, both with my own deputy staff, my law enforcement and civilian staff, or with inmates in the overnight. So I'm thinking, and we had 1 inmate get tested that we knew was interactive with that nurse. They were all wearing masks, and so. And he tested negative, rather. So the inmate that we did contact tracing on tested negative. But the food service worker, they never have interaction with anybody except other co-workers in the food service area. So I continue to walk on pins and needles in the jail because I can only control everything that's within my power to control. But there's so many things that are outside of my power to control. And so even with the best protocols in place, we still have a great jeopardy there. We still have a great liability there. So far, so good. We do not have problems in the jail except for those 2 unique exposures, and we have not had any further ancillary exposure or secondary, tertiary kind of exposures because of it. So I'm reasonably thankful as well as optimistic that we should still be in good shape at the jail for now.
Well, good. That's good to hear. Agnes, I think, is still listening. We have one more question. Do we have time, Agnes? Or you guys, they got to go home. We got a production crew that's hanging in there with us. One more question, if that's okay. So there, you guys know, we all see the propaganda that's out there. There's a new video released and everybody's getting it in Messenger. There was a hot mic. President Trump and Vice President Pence supposedly have had the vaccine, and that's why they're running around with no mask on, because they knew about the vaccine way before it even broke out in China. And can you dispel this myth? I mean, we know there are people that think the world is still flat, so we understand all that. But we were asked, one of our viewers said, "Did you ask Dr. Nafissa if there's any truth to that?"
So I don't get into politics, but in terms of the vaccine, there's absolutely no vaccine for COVID-19. They're researching for vaccines, and So that's one of that is really the biggest hope and prayer request is that people, and we can ask of people, because that is what's going to help us. But there is no vaccine for COVID-19.
Exactly. Just as we thought, Chaveevah, we knew that.
That's right.
We
You know,
just had to ask it, right?
unfortunately, the fear mongering is just as much a problem as
Yeah,
the real anxiety that does go along with
exactly.
this, and the extra fear mongering just makes things worse. And I'll say again, we really appreciate the job that you all have been doing to, keep everything tight and together as best as is possible under such uncertain circumstances.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you.
were both, and our teenager is still awake even. Zion.
Zion.
Well, we'd like to thank you so much, both of you guys, for your time. It's been a joy, and I hope our viewers got a chance to see the personable side of you. That's what we hope to do today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And to our viewers, we'll see you until next time. Keep doing what makes you awesome because
it makes us all look
good. See you next time.